Welcome to the 2016 Wake Forest University School of Business graduate hooding ceremony. Tonight, we're honored to have with us Provost Kirsch and members of the Board of Trustees, as well as the Board of Visitors. Thank you all for being a part of this milestone event. Congratulations to all of our graduates. This event represents a vital recognition of your hard work and dedication in achieving your goals. This weekend, we're celebrating the accomplishments of 499 students from our graduate programs. Together with our August 2015 and December 2015 graduating classes, this includes 44 full-time MBA graduates, 3 joined JD MBA graduates, 1 MD MBA graduate, 3 PhD MBA graduates, 39 Winston-Salem Evening MBA graduates, 58 Charlotte Evening MBA graduates, 49 Charlotte Saturday MBA graduates, 152 Master of Science in Accountancy graduates, and 150 Master of Arts in Management graduates. Wow. Traditions like this hooding ceremony serve as important milestones of progress in the life of our school. This past year, like any other year, has been filled with challenges and triumphs, laughter and sadness, new community members arriving, and old friends departing. Collectively, we grieved the loss of 2 students who passed away far too soon, even as we celebrate their lives and the legacies they leave behind. It is nothing short of an honor to be part of an academic community that takes seriously the responsibility we have to care for one another and support our mutual successes. And as part of those commitments, it is a privilege to be with you tonight as we celebrate your successes. The completion of your graduate program reflects a major accomplishment, and we're so pleased to see you reach this important milestone in your life's journey. Congratulations to each one of you. Of course, we all know that achieving this important milestone does not come easy and often requires a lending hand from others. In that regard, there are 2 groups that I would like to recognize for being instrumental in helping you, our students, during your time at Wake Forest. First, would the faculty and staff of our school stand to be recognized for their contributions? Now, with the spouses and partners, family members, friends, and mentors of our students, please stand so that we can give you a round of applause for everything you have done to make this evening possible for them. It is now my distinct honor and pleasure to introduce our distinguished speaker this evening, Mr. Michael Mahoney. Mr. Mahoney is President and CEO of Boston Scientific Corporation. He oversees global development, marketing, and sales of the company's broad medical solutions portfolio. He joined the company in 2011 with a 24-year track record of building market-leading medical device, capital equipment, and healthcare information technology businesses. Prior to his work at Boston Scientific, Mike served as worldwide chairman of Johnson & Johnson's Medical Devices and Diagnostics Division, as well as Johnson & Johnson's Orthopedics and Neurosciences business. Mike serves on the board of directors of AdvaMed and is a member of the American Heart Association CEO Roundtable. He earned a BBA degree in finance from the University of Iowa and his MBA right here from Wake Forest University. Yes. Welcoming Mike and his wife Julie back to Wake Forest is a true privilege. It is always a treat to see how our alums achieve to have positive, long-lasting impacts on their business and communities, and Mike's life work is a true example of that aspiration. As you will hear tonight, Mike learned some useful lessons during his MBA program here at Wake Forest and along the way since his own graduation 20 years ago. As he will share, these lessons have served him well in building and leading strong organizations. It is my honor to present our 2016 Hooting Speaker, Mr. Michael Mahoney.
Thank you, Dooney Kavu. It sounds like I can't hold on a job based on that profile. I must say, I'm incredibly honored that you invited me here to share this incredible evening with you. It's awesome, and I'm really quite flattered to be here today. So for students, or rather graduates, this is the reward and recognition you have each worked so hard to achieve. So congratulations, and let this wonderful evening be about you. I can tell you it's a day you're always going to remember. And just like the dean did, I'd also like to speak for a moment to the parents, spouses, siblings, partners, and friends who have gathered here today to celebrate. And celebrate, you absolutely should. You share in your graduates' accomplishments. Your help has come in many forms. You clearly instilled the importance of learning and strong work ethic. Some of you have paid a few tuitions, and you've likely been a part-time psychiatrist, listening, encouraging, but I guarantee you, always supporting. So whatever you did, you surely made a difference, so this day is all for you as well. You know, being here today is remarkable. It's almost like coming home for me. It's terrific to see so many familiar faces on this incredible chapel in this beautiful campus. And it's also great to see, and I'm going to highlight a few of them, many of my past professors are still here teaching and making an impact on you each day. And I also suspect that most of them would have bet big money that I wouldn't have graduated back in 1986, much less be standing here at this podium with you 20 years later. So, you know, I've been reflecting over the past 45 days on my time at Wake Forest and how the experiences I've had here have helped me throughout my career and in my position today as chairman and CEO of Boston Scientific. So I'd also like to share a few examples of specific learnings that I had from this program 20 years ago and how it's helped shape my career. The first are those wonderful study groups and teamwork associated with it. And 20 years ago, I didn't fully appreciate the value of the Wake Forest study group dynamic and the power of diverse teams to address business opportunities, solve problems, and to occasionally provide inspiration and moral support. Like yours, potentially, our study group struggled at first, and often. We had lots of long meetings, far too much caffeine, and we initially grappled to find our groove. However, over time, we learned the benefits of having a diverse team and how to work together effectively. We expanded our thinking, we learned how to debate as a team, sometimes often, and we learned how to execute together as a team. I'll never forget a fellow student in my study group by the name of Chuck Price. A shout out to Chuck Price, wherever he is today. It was 1 week until graduation, and our study group had an optional case study. Not a lot of motivation. An optional case study on how to improve operations at a poor-performing manufacturing plant. There were 5 of us in the study group, and nobody had the enthusiasm to do an optional case study. Our group was clearly content on coasting to graduation, and I might have been the cheerleader of that. But Chuck challenged us to do better and do a great job on the case. And I can recall Chuck saying to this day, he said, "Our Wake Forest program has been like running a marathon," much that you can relate with. "But we must finish strong and run through the tape," is what he said. I can tell you we gave Chuck a serious amount of grief for being a cheerleader and a teacher's pet, but our group rallied and we finished the optional case study. And so today, no kidding around, if I find myself managing or coasting rather than leading the company, I reflect back on that experience. So thank you, Chuck Price, for encouraging us to run through the tape. You know, my second reflection on Wake Forest is a gentleman sitting behind me, relating to globalization and the emerging markets. So 20 years ago, I took my very first trip to China with Professor Kennedy, the silver fox right there, and 15 other Wake Forest business students. And I can tell you the experience was a true game changer. I sat in the very last row of coach, next to the bathroom, for 15 straight hours, while Professor Kennedy enjoyed a wine and cheese tasting in business class. But seriously, the trip was a game changer. I saw the country's unique challenges, its culture, and powerful business opportunities. We toured automobile and textile manufacturing plants. We met with government officials, consultants, and venture capitalists. The trip truly opened my eyes to the need for different business models and strong partnerships, the need for great local leadership, and the recognition that the U.S. strategy playbook rarely translates to success in the emerging markets. So today, I make regular trips to China, and our Asia-Pac leader just recently summed up the China opportunity very nicely. He recently said to me, "You know, Mike, I wake up some mornings and China is absolutely Boston Scientific's biggest opportunity in the world. And I wake up other mornings and think China is by far our biggest challenge in the world." Then he says, "But the real problem is, I'm never sure what day it is." So I want to thank Professor Kennedy for opening my eyes to the unique cultures and opportunities in China and the emerging markets. The third memory I have is another professor behind me, Professor Ram Balaga. He taught us that strategy is not a one-time event. It's a tough process of capturing unique insights, assessing capabilities, vetting very difficult alternatives, and most importantly, choice-making. Choice-making in order to create a winning strategy. And winning strategies are so critical versus me-too strategies to today's business world. And also what I've learned is winning strategies aren't easy. They can be risky and very challenging to execute, but critical when you aim to lead, to differentiate, and as Chuck would say, to push yourself to run through the tape. So today at Boston Scientific, we leverage many of the Ram strategic planning processes that he taught us on this beautiful campus. And also there's one more additional memory I have, and she's sitting right in front of me, about my time here in this beautiful chapel. So on the day of my hooding ceremony 20 years ago, it was 90 degrees in this chapel. I wasn't wearing this, and I thought my beautiful wife, Julie, who was 8.5 months pregnant at the time with her second son, Patrick, was going to give birth somewhere near aisle 32 on this night. And I can recall Julie saying after the ceremony, "Mike, please stop the nonsense about running through the tape and just get ready to cut the damn cord." So enough about my reflections. Some other comments. So Wake has given you students, an incredible incredible gift of knowledge, and more importantly, or as importantly, the ability to draw insights based on that knowledge. So you now have a Swiss Army knife of tools that you can apply to your future. So now it's up to you to apply them. So as you sit here today, no doubt thinking about the jobs you are considering or already have, here are other pieces of advice I'd like to share and ask you to consider. Add them to your toolbox as you make decisions about the kind of lives you want to lead, the kind of leaders you want to be, and most important, the kind of person you want to be. The first one is really a big deal. Consistently deliver results beyond expectations in your job. So whether you're an individual contributor or manager, whether your job is in audit, sales, tax, legal, digital marketing, or on the assembly line, do it incredibly well every day. Do it incredibly well. Consistently deliver beyond expectations and work very collaboratively with your teammates. And this is my favorite part, be an optimist. Be an optimist, be an energy giver, not an energy sucker. So when you perform and energize others, people will want to pull you up. And when that happens, you will gain more confidence as a leader. So you may not love your first job, and you may not love your current job if you're working now. But if you do that job incredibly well, you will get noticed by your team. And then you will earn the right to interview for the next opportunity. My second piece of advice is to really seek out and find your passion in an industry that you really love, truly love it in your heart. It's not easy to do, it's confusing, it's very personal, and there's no perfect answer. And there's too many choices. So just today, it's similar to selecting your favorite barbecue spot in Winston-Salem. Should we go to Bibbs? It was closed today. Little Richard's or Camel City. So many options, too confusing, but ultimately, you do have to find your passion and get after it. It's important to find your passion because when you're passionate about something, you'll do it far better. When I was at GE Healthcare, I was lucky enough to work for Jeff Immelt, who said this about passion. You must work hard to accomplish something, but hard work over the long haul takes happiness. Find your passion and get really, really good at it. I can truly say that I absolutely love what we do at Boston Scientific. We are a leading global medical device company, and I love our mission of advancing science for life to help patients. It's an extremely innovative company, and I love our products. They help people live longer and live better lives. And I love that there's a higher purpose to what we do. So I knew from a young age that I wanted to get into healthcare. I was inspired by my grandfather, who was a pediatric cardiac surgeon. I grew up admiring how he changed the lives of so many children. I saw the passion he had for his work and how this passion became my grandfather's life's work. And I can remember sneaking into his office quite often when I was a little kid, maybe a teenager. I'd close the door and I'd sit in his highly worn leather chair, surrounded by all of his medical books, and pretend to smoke, and sometimes smoke, his favorite pipe, just like he did. And I'd dream about being a surgeon, just like he was. Well, life does throw us curveballs, and after earning a solid C- in organic chemistry, I elected to change course and approach healthcare a bit differently. So the third piece of advice, the big deal for me, if you choose a path where you want to advance in your career, I would highly encourage you to pursue and embrace the very toughest jobs, the toughest jobs that nobody else wants. See challenges as opportunities to stretch and differentiate yourself. So when I interview people, I ask them what they've done to solve challenging problems. I'm looking for people who embrace change, who are creative, are willing to own the situation versus blame the circumstance. We're looking for team players who are resilient, proactive, and willing to try new things. We're not looking for those who secretly, you'll find them, who secretly enjoy bureaucracy, manage just to meet their numbers, and stay below the radar. So fourth, a few comments about corporate responsibility. So as you advance in your career, and for those of you in the room who strive one day to lead a division, a business, or aim to become a chief executive officer, I'm here to reinforce that running a business is far more than maximizing profits and driving shareholder returns. Most all of your employees won't closely follow your stock price, nor will they listen to your massively prepped quarterly earnings calls. So running a business today is more about duty and responsibility. Yes, absolutely to your shareholders, but also to your employees and to your community. So running a business is not just about a company car, expense accounts, and first-class seats to China. It is about the single parent in the assembly plant whose life and whose children's lives depend upon a job that you have the ability to preserve or destroy. It's about creating a culture that absolutely fully engages your employees so they are fully productive. It's about supporting your communities, the local charities, STEM programs, and educational events. It's about providing flexible hours to encourage work-life balance and actively supporting the important programs that foster and embrace diversity. It's about responsibility and commitment beyond just shareholder returns. So in closing, it is great to be here. And I had my own commencement on this weekend 20 years ago. And I had no gray hair back then. And my life journey has left me with a few final thoughts. As Albert Einstein was famously quoted, your imagination is much more important than your knowledge. No matter what you decide, relationships matter the most. You cannot have too many friends. You cannot do too much for other people. You cannot be too thoughtful. You cannot say thank you to your employees too many times. You cannot put a smile on your face and say good morning or have a nice day too often. And you cannot write too many old-fashioned thank you notes like I do, even if they are emails, texts, or tweets to your employees. And also, go to work for someone who can teach you more than you already know. That was a no-brainer for me throughout my career. I excelled at that one. And please find a company or a leader, or ideally both, that you can admire. Whatever you do it because you love it. Please don't do it for the money. I do what I love, and over the years, I've become better at it over time. And eventually, your rewards will follow. So God bless each of you. Enjoy this incredible evening, and best of luck on your exciting career. Thank you very much.